Hey everybody, happy Wax on Wednesdays. Welcome back to another week of Encaustic painting. And usually on my Wax on Wednesdays videos, I don't like to put a date on them because people discover the Wax on Wednesdays videos at different parts of their encaustic journey. So I like to keep them pretty generic time-wise. But in this day and age, I thought it might be helpful to share if I'm feeling this, and maybe some of you out there are feeling this as well. And you think you're at home, where we are all supposed to be, mostly almost around the world, and think that, I'm going to get a bunch of creating done and I'm going to get a bunch of painting done now, because that's pretty much not a whole lot else to do. And you go to get to your creative space, and all of a sudden nothing comes, and it just doesn't come, it doesn't flow, and that can be a little bit worrisome, and it's because of the worry in the first place. And that comes all at different times of our life. We get worried and about different things. And now I think nowadays maybe everybody has sort of a centralized worry, all worried about the same thing. And sometimes when you sit down to create, it just doesn't flow, no matter what you were, what your intentions were when you approached it. It just doesn't flow like you think it should, and of course that can be worrying as well. And I've spoken with some artist friends that had the same exact thing happen to them. They went to begin creating and just wasn't there. It just didn't happen to be there at the time. There was no creative flow. And I think this is, for me, I found that backing up and just playing and exploring helped a lot. You can, and here just in the video, I'm using a spatula that I usually use for cold wax painting, and I just wanted to add some texture. Just playing around. I never use the spatula for adding texture with encaustic painting, and so I thought, hey, I'm going to find out if it'll happen and what it'll look like. And the great thing about encaustic, of course, is that if I decide later on that I want to smooth it out, which I do in most places except for the horizon line, the little land formation there, I keep that wonderful texture that I built up with the spatula, and end up pretty much getting rid of the rest. But it was the act of play and to see what happened. And I had the intentions during this time of getting out massive boards and creating all these paintings that I had wanted to paint for so long, and I found that just didn't come. So for me, I found that play, exploration, simple things that would help better with the flow of just creating ends up working better for me. And everybody's different, but I did find that just playing and exploring something simple, something really simple, and as simple as just playing with a tool that you just discovered in your junk drawer or something like that. With encaustic, it's great fun to find things to add texture with, and just to see if it works. There's never any mistakes, so of course you can fuse it flat. If it doesn't make the texture that you like, it doesn't work out in your painting, you can always fuse it flat. There's no mistakes, which is the wonderful thing about encaustic. And so just finding a tool, just exploring and playing. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, or exploring a new color palette, just simple little things that still bring the joy of creating without a giant complicated painting to work out in your mind. Just simply creating with simple exploring techniques. Maybe you've been wanting to build up work on a accretion method. See how big you can build that with different brushes. See how big you can build up a piece. Just something simple that is creating and still brings that satisfaction of exploration and the joy of painting in general, but without the complication of having to figure out, a big 30 by 30 landscape or something like that, or an abstract. You're simplifying everything, and it still brings immense satisfaction. And to me, painting is it's the same you have to exercise, you have to get out there and walk or run or swim or whatever you do to keep healthy. For us as artists, painting also keeps us healthy, mind, body, and spirit. So in order to continue on with that creative journey, instead of just walking away because we just don't feel it that day, I find that it's a great idea to just simplify everything and work on those simple tasks. And something as joyful as working on a new color palette can be in any medium. If you're watercolor or acrylic or oils, just working on a new color palette, trying out a new tool, just trying something for fun. It might not work, and then again, it might, and you might discover something along the way. And today in this painting, of course, I'm creating just a landscape from a recycled piece. And again, if there's no art stores open, if you can't get something shipped to your home or your studio, wherever you're at, then recycling encaustic pieces, you can use the wax that's already on a piece that maybe didn't go the way that you had intended in the first place, or maybe you started it way back when for something completely else. You can recycle that wax. You can paint over it. You can use the wax that's already there, which I think I did that a few weeks ago in a Wax on Wednesdays, using the wax completely that was already on a piece. In today's case, I completely covered it with some new encaustic paint and layered right over it, and you can do that too, but it's wonderful. Encaustic is so forgiving that we can reuse those boards, and those boards are expensive. So it's a great thing that we can just layer right over it with an infinite number of layers really on our pieces, and just keep going and going and completely change those pieces and rework them. And I'd like to invite you to, as part of the Wax on Wednesdays community, I'd like to invite you, if you have had little victories, if you felt this and you've felt this in your own creating journey, and you've had little victories doing something, then please leave a comment below and say what it is that you did that got you out of that sort of that worried funk from creating, that's whatever has blocked you. Leave a comment below and tell us, share with us how you got yourself out of it, or what you do to break that sort of cycle. And I do want to share one other thing that really helps, or has helped. I know it's been some places it's spring right now, some places it's still kind of wintry, or you're just starting winter. But when the sun is shining and it's nice outside, I've also found that if I'm in a sort of a funk block, that it's fun to get out there and take pictures. And this goes, for landscape, for abstract, it works for everything, because you can get out there and take pictures even with your phone. You're not a photographer, maybe you just have a smartphone. You can get out there and take pictures of course, landscapes in your area. If you're out walking, it helps to have reference material and walk in a beautiful place and take beautiful pictures. But you can also take pictures of textures, and especially in encaustic, we're looking for great texture to emulate, and you can get out there and take pictures of great textures that you find out there in natures. And it doesn't matter if it's in an urban area or a suburban area or the countryside. Textures are great everywhere. Rusty textures, natural textures, organic textures, moss, rocks, rust. There's all sorts of things that intrigue us when we are working on adding texture and encaustic, and it's a great reference when you're out there walking. And it's also great to get you out there walking, to go on a little hunt, hunt for texture pictures, or a hunt for landscape pictures or color. It's great to search for when you're searching a new color palette. Look for color. Just start an album in your smartphone of color that you find out there wherever you are in your own environment, whether it's suburban or urban or country. Look for a new color palette and use natural, organic things that you find to begin that color album. And that's just fun things to get creating and get moving. And if you just can't seem to start that large painting, these are simple little things that can keep you moving and keep you going in your creative mind, and keep your creative spirit flowing. And if you are enjoying Wax on Wednesdays, I would love for you to join us every week. Please like and share and subscribe. And if you hit the little bell to be notified every week when a new video is posted. So I hope that you really enjoyed this Wax on Wednesdays, and I hope that you are creating wherever you are in the world, and that you're safe and healthy. And please leave a post below and let us know how you are creating right now. And we will see you next Wednesday. Happy Wax on Wednesdays.